right, so everyone get ready. We are going deep into the world of health and wellness brands in India today.
Yeah, it is a pretty wild world out there.
It really is.
Everyone is trying to get on your shelves,
Mm,
from like gut health to,
gummy vitamins.
yeah, gummy vitamin giant,
Exactly. And you guys have given us a ton.
a mountain.
Yeah, a mountain of research to go through. So,
It's a really interesting time for this industry. We're seeing massive growth,
yeah.
but with that, intense competition. And
Yeah.
what's really interesting to me is how these brands are sort of choosing to fight for your loyalty as a consumer.
Yeah.
Some are like building these huge brand identities, almost like empires of wellness.
Yeah.
And others are laser focused on that one knockout product to get noticed.
Okay, so two totally different paths to success.
Yeah.
But before we get into the specifics, you mentioned this huge growth.
Yeah.
What are we talking here? Like, how big is this?
Well, let's just say the numbers are pretty eye-popping. By 2025, the Indian nutraceutical market is expected to be worth $18 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, that's up from just $4 billion in 2020.
Okay, that's a huge jump. And I guess that explains why my inbox is practically overflowing with ads for like protein powders and herbal remedies these days.
It's not even just supplements either. It's think about everything from specialized diets to like personalized skincare.
Right.
The wellness umbrella is pretty wide these days.
It really is.
And every brand is just trying to like stand out from the crowd.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics. We saw two main approaches emerging from all this research. What you called the brand first approach and then the hero product strategy.
Right.
Can you break those down for us?
Yeah, sure. So think of it like this. A brand first approach is like building a fortress, right?
Okay.
They start with a solid foundation, a really clear set of values. Maybe there's a specific philosophy they're pushing,
Yeah.
but they want you to buy into their entire world, not just one product.
So like brands like OZiva, for example.
Yeah.
They're all about like clean plant-based nutrition.
Yeah.
They've created this whole OZiva way of living.
Exactly. They want you to see OZiva as synonymous with that clean living lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then, in turn, you trust their whole product line, right?
Yeah.
Because you buy into that overall mission.
Okay, that makes sense. So what about the hero product strategy?
All right, so the hero product is like that one knight going out to slay the dragon.
Uh-huh.
It's all about grabbing your attention with a single standout product that solves a specific problem.
Okay.
They're betting that this one killer product is going to get people talking and ultimately bring them into the brand.
Like Mama Earth and their onion shampoo. They really targeted those hair fall concerns.
Totally. And it worked, right?
Yeah.
That one product put them on the map, and now they're doing all sorts of personal care categories.
Okay, so two very different approaches, both with the potential for success. Now let's dive into some specific examples. First up, we have The Good Bug, a brand that's all about gut health. They seem to be going for a more brand-first approach, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. While they did launch with their Metabolically Lean product, they were very clearly simultaneously, educating the consumer on the importance of gut health, right? It's almost like they're building a movement around gut health, and they're positioning themselves as the leaders.
Interesting. So it's not just about selling a product. It's about becoming the authority
Totally.
on a particular health concern. And who are they targeting with this gut health gospel?
They seem to be focused on adults aged 25 to 45. Think of the people who are, reading all those articles about like the gut microbiome and how it affects everything from immunity to mental health.
Right. So the crowd that's already interested in wellness, but maybe looking for that extra edge.
Yeah.
Now, their hero product, Metabolically Lean, what kind of impact has it had?
I think it's definitely been their key to entering the market. This product allowed them to carve out a niche, attracting those consumers who are willing to, spend a little extra for a premium gut health solution.
Okay, so a smart entry point. But as with any new brand, they must face some hurdles. What are some of the challenges they're up against?
Well, customer acquisition and retention are always going to be a biggie, especially in such a crowded space. How do they stand out and convince consumers to choose them over a more established brand? It's a constant battle for shelf space, online visibility, all of that.
So continuous innovation and smart marketing will be key.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to a brand that's practically synonymous with clean eating. OZiva, They're definitely going for that fortress approach, building a whole brand identity around clean nutrition.
Yeah, they've been very deliberate in building this image of clean and plant-based,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems to be working, especially with their target audience.
And who are they speaking to specifically?
They're largely appealing to fitness enthusiasts and the generally health conscious, mostly in that 18 to 35 age range. But they've particularly focused their messaging on women, looking for that more tailored nutritional support.
Okay, so they've got a solid brand identity, but do they have a knight in shining armor product? That one thing people instantly associate with OZiva.
I would say their protein and herbs for women blend is a strong contender for that title.
Yeah.
It perfectly encapsulates their brand values: clean, plant-based, and with a focus on women's specific needs.
And that seems to be a smart move considering the growing popularity of plant-based diets. We're seeing this global shift towards more sustainable and ethical eating, right?
Absolutely. And OZiva capitalized on that early on. But, their challenge is staying ahead of the curve. How do they stay relevant when every new brand is suddenly jumping on the, clean bandwagon?
That's a good question. It's not enough to just be clean anymore. You have to offer something more. All right, let's switch gears to a brand that's been around for ages, Centrum, the multivitamin giant. They seem to be doing a bit of a hybrid approach, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. They have the advantage of like immense brand recognition,
Yeah.
right? But they're not just resting on their laurels. They've been launching new products that are targeted at like specific demographics, like families and, those super health conscious adults.
So they're trying to stay relevant while also capitalizing on their existing reputation. But what would you say their hero product is, the one that really cemented their place in the market?
It's hard to argue with, the classic Centrum multivitamin, especially the one specifically formulated for women. It's like a testament to the power of a trusted product that, people have been relying on for decades.
And they're in a good spot, market-wise, right?
Yeah.
People are still taking their vitamins.
Oh, absolutely. But even for a giant like Centrum, challenges exist. In a market that's getting more and more fragmented, they need to make sure they don't come across as like too old-fashioned, especially to those younger consumers.
That's the tricky part, staying relevant to the next generation.
All right, let's move on to a brand that's bringing a bit of fun to the supplement world. Olly. They're all about those gummy vitamins, aren't they?
Yeah, Olly's a great example of a brand that nailed the hero product strategy. Their gummy vitamins completely changed the game,
Yeah.
Made supplements fun and approachable, especially for those who, hate swallowing pills.
Right, yeah. And their target audience is pretty clear.
Millennials and Gen Z, they're looking for convenience. They're drawn to, Olly's vibrant packaging and those clever marketing campaigns.
Smart move. They're speaking directly to that generation's preferences.
Yeah.
And it seems to be working, right? Gummy vitamins are everywhere these days. The market is definitely booming. But that also means, more competition. For Olly, the challenge is standing out in a crowded field of gummy vitamins. How do they convince you to choose their gummies over all the others?
All right. So innovation is key. It's not enough to just have a catchy concept. Now let's talk about a brand that's built its reputation on transparency. Whole Truth. They're all about clean label food products, right?
Mm-hmm. Whole Truth is fascinating because they've built their entire brand around trust, right?
Yeah.
They're incredibly transparent about their ingredients, sourcing everything, and that's really resonating with consumers who are increasingly skeptical of, what's in their food.
And who are they targeting with this message of transparency?
They're attracting, I think, the truly health conscious, the people who read every label and do their research before buying anything. They're the ones who care about ethical sourcing and are willing to pay a premium for that peace of mind.
Okay, so they've got a strong brand identity and a clear target audience. But what would you say is their hero product, the one that really embodies their values?
I think their Whole Truth protein bars are a great example.
Yeah.
They're clean, high protein. They just tick all the boxes for that, health conscious consumer.
And this whole clean label trend seems to be gaining momentum, right?
Oh, for sure.
People are demanding to know exactly what they're putting in their bodies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the challenge for Whole Truth, as a smaller player in a market dominated by, these huge food conglomerates,
Right.
is scaling up while staying true to their values.
Yeah.
Can they maintain that commitment to quality and transparency as they grow?
That's the million-dollar question. All right, next up, we have a brand that's tapping into nostalgia for a simpler time. Paper Boat. They're bringing back those traditional Indian drinks, right?
Paper Boat is a smart example of a brand tapping into both nostalgia and this growing trend of healthier beverages. People are like tired of sugary sodas and juices.
Well,
They're
yeah.
looking for something different.
Mm-hmm.
And Paper Boat gives them that with the side of like childhood memory.
Exactly. So who are they targeting with these, blast from the past drinks?
They've actually managed to appeal to a pretty wide demographic. You've got those health-conscious consumers, young adults looking for something unique, and even, families looking for healthy and tasty options for their kids.
Okay, so pretty broad appeal, and they're in a good spot market-wise, right?
Yeah.
The Indian beverage market is ready for some disruption.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But breaking into a market dominated by, big players with these huge distribution networks is never easy. Getting their products on shelves and into the hands of consumers, that's going to be key for their continued growth.
All right, now let's talk about a brand that's making waves in the personal care space. Mama Earth. They've really carved out a niche for themselves with those natural chemical-free products.
Mm-hmm. Mama Earth's success is really tied to their hero product, the onion shampoo. It perfectly captured this growing consumer desire for natural and safe solutions, especially when it comes to hair care.
And who are they primarily targeting with this message of natural wellness?
They're really speaking to, I think, millennials and new parents, those who are, maybe a little more aware of the potentially harmful chemicals in conventional products and are actively seeking out those safer alternatives.
That's smart. They're tapping into a growing segment of the market, and this trend towards natural beauty products seems to be here to stay, right?
The market is definitely growing. But for Mama Earth, the challenge lies in standing out from the crowd, right? There's so many brands now claiming to be, natural and chemical free. How do they convince you, the consumer, that they're the real deal?
Right, because natural has become such a buzzword these days.
Yeah, totally.
All right, next up we have a brand that's taking a more holistic approach to hair health, Nat Habit. They've launched with their Hair Nutri-Mask.
Okay, Nat Habit is an interesting example because they're not just selling a product. They're educating consumers about, the benefits of natural ingredients and a holistic approach to hair care.
So it's almost like a mini education with each purchase.
Totally.
And their Hair Nutri-Mask is their chosen vehicle for that message.
Exactly. And they're targeting individuals who are looking for natural solutions to hair concerns and are willing to invest a bit more for a product that, aligns with their values.
Okay, so they're appealing to that niche group that's really invested in natural solutions. And this trend towards natural hair care seems to be gaining momentum, right?
Definitely. But the challenge for Nat Habit, like many smaller brands, is breaking through in a market dominated by giants. They need to find creative ways to, reach their target audience and convince them to try something new.
Speaking of appealing to a specific audience, let's talk about Little Joys. They're all about healthy snacks for kids, right?
Yeah. Little Joys is a great example of a brand that's tapped into, a growing parental concern. Childhood nutrition.
Yeah.
They're offering healthy and tasty snacks that are designed to appeal to kids. Right?
Yeah.
A win-win for both parents and children.
And their hero product, the Kids Chocolate Nutrimix, is a great example of this. They've managed to make a healthy snack that kids actually want to eat.
It's a smart strategy because it plays into that, parental desire to provide those healthy options.
Yeah.
While recognizing that, kids are notoriously picky eaters.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And this focus on healthy snacks for kids is right on trend, right? There's a huge demand for nutritious options for children these days.
The market is definitely growing. But for Little Joys, the challenge is competing against those, established snack brands that are already on supermarket shelves. They need to find ways to stand out and grab the attention of both, parents and children.
Okay, so a lot of competition in the snack aisle. Now, let's turn our attention to a brand that's become synonymous with Ayurveda, Patanjali. They've been pioneers in bringing traditional Indian wellness practices to the mainstream.
Mm-hmm. Patanjali is an incredible case study in brand building. They've managed to position themselves as the leader, in herbal and Ayurvedic solutions.
Right.
And they've done it by, leveraging the growing popularity of natural ingredients and traditional wellness practices.
And who are they targeting with this message of natural wellness?
They're appealing to, I think, a very broad audience, health-conscious consumers, who are looking for affordable natural alternatives to conventional products.
Yeah.
And it resonates particularly well in India, where Ayurveda has such, deep cultural roots.
It's like they've tapped into a national pride in traditional wellness practices.
Yeah, totally.
And it seems to be working, right? The Ayurvedic market is booming.
Absolutely. But Patanjali faces some unique challenges, you know? Maintaining quality control across such a diverse product range can be difficult.
Right.
And they also need to find ways to compete effectively against, larger pharmaceutical companies that have, deeper pockets and more resources for research and development.
So it's about balancing their traditional roots with the demands of a modern competitive market.
Exactly. Now let's look at another brand that's built its reputation on herbal healthcare, Himalaya Wellness.
Himalaya has a long history in this space, over 90 years of experience in herbal healthcare. They've really become pioneers in this field.
And they've taken a more hero product approach, launching, a series of popular herbal supplements and skincare products that have become synonymous with their brand.
And their target audience is similar to Patanjali's, right?
Yeah, they're also appealing to those health-conscious individuals seeking natural remedies for, various health concerns. They've built a strong reputation for quality and efficacy, which has, earned them the trust of consumers.
And the market trends are definitely on their side. The global herbal supplement market is projected to be massive, with consumers increasingly turning to natural remedies.
Oh, absolutely. But even with such a huge market, competition is fierce.
Right.
Himalaya needs to find ways to, differentiate themselves from both local and international herbal brands that are vying for, consumer attention. And they also need to, navigate the complex regulatory landscape for herbal products, which can be a challenge.
Okay, so navigating the regulations and standing out from the crowd are key. Now, let's shift gears and look at a brand that's all about clean eating. True Elements. They're focused on providing healthy food options without artificial additives.
True Elements is a great example of a brand that's riding the wave of the clean label food movement, right?
Right.
They're appealing to those, health-conscious consumers who are meticulous about reading ingredient lists and just want to avoid anything artificial.
And their hero products really embody that commitment to clean eating, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. They're, superfoods and healthy snacks, all free from additives, have really helped build their credibility. And their transparency about sourcing and production processes has been key in gaining the trust of those, skeptical consumers.
And this consumer demand for clean label foods is only going to increase, right? We're all becoming more aware of what we're putting in our bodies.
The healthy snacks market is definitely on the rise. But the challenge for True Elements is competing against those massive snack brands with their huge marketing budgets and established distribution networks.
Right.
They need to find creative ways to get their products in front of consumers and convince them to choose True Elements over, the familiar names.
Okay, so a classic David and Goliath situation. Now, let's talk about a brand that's catering to a more specific niche, Urban Platter. They're all about premium ingredients and specialty foods for those with more discerning palates.
Urban Platter has really tacked into that growing interest in gourmet cooking and specialized dietary needs. They're offering those high quality ingredients and unique products that appeal to a certain type of urban consumer.
And their hero products really reflect this, right? They've got gluten-free options, vegan products, really catering to those niche diets.
Exactly. They're catering to consumers who are willing to pay a premium for those specialty items. And their focus on organic ingredients and gourmet cooking is very much in line with, current market trends.
So they're in a good spot trend-wise, but what are some of the challenges they might face?
Well, they're facing competition on two fronts, right?
Okay.
You've got the local artisanal brands that are also offering, those high quality niche products. And then you have those larger grocery chains that are, expanding their offerings to include organic and specialty foods. Urban Platter needs to find a way to differentiate themselves and really highlight what makes them unique.
All right, so standing out from the crowd will be key for them. Well, we've covered a lot of ground here, exploring a diverse range of brands and how they're approaching this booming health and wellness market in India.
Yeah, it's a fascinating landscape, and it's clear that these brands are using a lot of different strategies to capture your attention as a consumer.
But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's shift gears and consider the consumer perspective. We've talked about brands, but how do you, the listener, navigate this sea of wellness options?
That's a great question. I think understanding your own decision-making process can be incredibly empowering, right?
Yeah.
We often make purchases without, really thinking about why.
Right.
But if we can understand those, underlying motivations, we can become more conscious consumers.
That makes a lot of sense. So join us for part 2 of this deep dive, where we'll explore the 5 stages of the consumer decision-making process and how you can apply that knowledge to make smarter choices in the world of health and wellness. Okay, so welcome back to our deep dive into India's crazy health and wellness market.
Yeah, it is wild out there.
It is, and we're just getting started. Last time we were talking about those 2 big strategies brands use,
Right.
brand first and hero product.
Yeah.
And, how some brands are even kind of blending those approaches to really stand out. But now we're flipping the script, looking at it from your perspective,
Right.
the listener, the consumer.
Exactly.
Because, when you understand your own decision-making process, you can make choices that actually align with your needs and your values, right?
Right.
You're not just blindly following trends or getting swayed by marketing hype.
You become a smarter shopper.
Exactly. So how do we actually do that?
Yeah.
How do we become these more conscious consumers in this, sea of wellness options?
Okay. Well, let's break down the consumer decision-making process a little bit.
Okay.
So, the research highlights 5 key stages that, honestly, we all go through whether we realize it or not.
All right, let's unpack those stages.
Okay.
What's the first step in this consumer journey?
So the first stage is problem recognition. It's all about identifying a need or a pain point.
Okay, so let's say I'm experiencing hair fall.
Yeah.
I'm noticing more strands on my brush, my shower drain is starting to clog.
Right.
That's a problem I need to address.
Exactly. And this is where those hero products that we were talking about can
Yeah.
be really effective. Think of Mama Earth's onion shampoo, right?
Right.
It directly addresses that specific problem
Mm-hmm.
and promises a solution.
Right. It grabs your attention and makes you think, hey, maybe this could be the answer.
Exactly. Exactly. It taps into that desire for that quick fix,
Yeah.
that magic bullet for your problem.
Yeah, okay.
But the journey doesn't end there. The next stage is information search. Once you've recognized a need, then you start seeking out information.
Okay, so this is where I start Googling, reading reviews, asking friends.
Oh.
Basically, I'm doing my due diligence before I commit to a product.
Exactly. And this is where brands that have a strong online presence and a commitment to transparency, they can really shine.
Like OZiva, for example. They have a ton of information on their website about their products, the ingredients, the sourcing, everything. It makes you feel like you know exactly what you're getting.
Right. They're removing that element of mystery, and they're building trust by being open and informative.
Right, okay.
Now, the third stage is all about evaluating your alternatives.
Okay, so this is where I'm comparing different brands, different products, weighing the pros and cons,
Right.
considering factors like price, effectiveness, maybe even ethical considerations.
Right. And this is where those brand first companies can really have an edge. Yeah.
Because if I already trust a brand, I'm more likely to choose their product, even if it's a little more expensive or not as readily available.
Exactly. Think of Centrum, right? They've built a reputation for quality over decades.
Yeah.
So even if a new brand comes along with a similar multivitamin, that existing trust might sway me towards Centrum.
Yeah. It's like that comfort factor, that familiarity that makes you feel more secure in your choice.
Makes you feel good.
Okay, so I've recognized the problem. I've gathered information.
Yeah.
I've weighed my options.
Okay.
What happens next?
So the fourth stage is the purchase decision. This is the moment of truth, right? It's that point of no return when you actually commit and buy the product.
And this decision can be influenced by so many things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Packaging, branding, in-store promotions, online reviews, even just a friend's casual recommendation.
Totally. And sometimes it comes down to something as simple as convenience, right? Maybe I'm at the store and Olly's gummy vitamins are right there at the checkout counter.
Right.
They look fun and tasty, so I just grab a bottle. I don't even overthink it.
Right. It's that impulse buy, that spur of the moment decision.
Totally. Yeah.
But the consumer journey doesn't end there, right?
Right.
What's the final stage?
So the final stage is post-purchase behavior. This is all about how satisfied you are with the product, whether it lived up to your expectations and whether you would buy it again.
So this is where brands that really prioritize quality and customer service can shine. If I have a good experience with a product if it actually works, if the company's responsive to my questions, I'm much more likely to become a loyal customer.
Absolutely. Think of like Whole Truth, right?
Yeah.
Their commitment to clean label foods and like transparent sourcing, that can create a really positive post-purchase experience.
Right. It goes beyond just the product itself. It's that feeling of alignment with a brand's values, that sense of trust that makes you want to buy from them again.
Totally.
Okay, so we've walked through these 5 stages, but like how can we actually use this knowledge to make better choices?
I think the biggest takeaway is to be like a conscious consumer, right?
Yeah.
Don't just like automatically reach for the most familiar brand or, the flashiest product.
Right.
Take a step back, consider what you really need, what your values are,
Yeah.
and whether this product actually aligns with your goals.
So it's about being more intentional with our purchases. Don't just buy into the hype, do your research, ask questions, and make choices that make you feel good, not just in the moment, but in the long run.
You got it.
Okay, now that we've unpacked the consumer journey, let's take another look at those hero products. We've been talking about them throughout this whole conversation, but I'm just curious to know more about how these star players really shape a brand's identity and drive their success. Let's start with the Good Bug and their Metabolically Lean.
Okay.
We know they're targeting that health-conscious crowd,
Right.
super interested in gut health.
Yeah.
But how has this specific product impacted their brand overall?
Well, I think Metabolically Lean has been their ticket into the big leagues.
Okay.
Like, it's their flagship product, the one that immediately comes to mind when you think of the Good Bug.
Yeah.
It's allowed them to position themselves as like a premium gut health brand, attracting those consumers who are willing to, invest in their digestive well-being.
And the stats seem to support that, right? The global probiotics market is huge and growing rapidly, which I guess indicates that there's a real appetite for gut health solutions like this.
For sure. They've definitely tapped into a growing trend. And by creating like a high-quality targeted product like Metabolically Lean, they've been able to carve out a niche for themselves in this booming market.
Now let's talk about OZiva and their protein and herbs for women. This product seems to be a perfect embodiment of their commitment to clean plant-based nutrition. But how has it impacted their overall success?
So this blend has become synonymous with the OZiva brand, especially among their target demographic of fitness-minded women. It speaks to their desire for natural plant-based solutions that are specifically formulated for their needs.
And this focus on clean eating and plant-based products is perfectly aligned with current consumer trends.
Yeah.
We're seeing a global shift towards more sustainable and ethical food choices, and OZiva is right there on that wave.
They've definitely been early adopters of this trend. And by creating a product that's both, high quality and aligned with these values, they've been able to attract a loyal following.
Now let's talk about Centrum, a brand that's been around for decades. Their brand recognition is sky high already.
For sure.
But how has their classic Centrum multivitamin contributed to their continued success?
It's a classic for a reason. The Centrum multivitamin is a household name, synonymous with, reliable, everyday nutritional support.
Yeah.
It's that product that many people grew up with, that their parents trusted.
It's the comfort food of the supplement world. And their strategy of offering a range of multivitamins for different demographics has been really smart.
Totally.
They have options for men, women, children, even specific formulations for different age groups.
Right, which allows them to cater to a wider audience.
Yeah.
And maintain their position as a leading multivitamin brand.
Exactly.
They're not just relying on nostalgia, right? They're innovating to stay relevant to the changing needs of consumers.
All right, let's shift gears to Olly and their gummy vitamins. They really disrupted the market with their fun and approachable take on supplements. How have those gummy vitamins shaped their brand identity?
Olly's gummy vitamins are a brilliant example of a hero product done right.
Okay.
They completely changed the perception of supplements, right? Made it fun, tasty, and convenient.
Yeah.
And that resonated hugely with their target audience.
And their target audience is very clearly millennials and Gen Z.
Yeah, for sure.
Those who grew up with those colorful, fun snacks.
Yeah.
And maybe have a little bit of an aversion to like swallowing pills.
Absolutely. They tapped into that desire for, more enjoyable way to take supplements. And their like vibrant packaging and playful marketing only reinforced that image.
And the numbers tell the story, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like the gummy vitamin market is exploding.
Totally.
Showing that this trend towards like more convenient and enjoyable forms of supplementation is here to stay.
Olly was definitely ahead of the curve with this one.
Yeah.
And by focusing on a product that, addressed a real consumer need, wanting an easier and tastier way to take vitamins, they've been able to establish themselves as like a major player in the supplement market.
Now let's talk about Whole Truth and their Whole Truth protein bars.
Okay.
These bars seem to like perfectly represent their philosophy of like clean label foods. How have they impacted the brand's like overall image?
So these protein bars are a great example of a hero product that embodies like a brand's core values.
Okay.
They're clean, they're delicious, and they just like tick all the boxes for that, health-conscious consumer who's looking for like convenient, guilt-free snacking options.
And their commitment to transparency and ethical sourcing, it really shines through in this product. Like you can see it in the way they talk about the ingredients, the sourcing, the whole production process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not just saying they're clean, right? They're showing you every step of the way.
Right.
And that level of like transparency builds a lot of trust with consumers, especially those who are becoming more like discerning about what they're putting into their bodies.
And this trend towards clean label foods is only gaining momentum, right?
Absolutely.
Consumers are demanding more transparency, more information about like the ingredients, the sourcing of their food.
The market for clean label products is like growing rapidly.
Hmm.
And Whole Truth is, well positioned to capitalize on this trend with their focus on, high quality, ethically sourced ingredients.
Okay, so they're tapping into like a long-term trend, which is a smart move. Now let's look at Paper Boat and their Ampana.
Okay.
This drink seems to like evoke this sense of nostalgia and like childhood memories. How has this hero product shaped their brand identity?
So Paper Boat has like cleverly combined nostalgia with the growing demand for like healthier, more natural beverages. Their Arampana, it like reminds people of those traditional Indian flavors, the drinks,
Yeah.
their mothers or grandmothers used to make.
It's that emotional connection, that feeling of like comfort and familiarity
Exactly.
that really sets them apart. And they've managed to appeal to a pretty wide audience, haven't they?
Yeah, from, young adults who are rediscovering these like traditional flavors to families who are, looking for healthier options for their kids.
Yeah.
Paper Boat has found a way to like resonate with a diverse consumer base.
And the Indian beverage market is definitely ready for like some fresh ideas
For sure.
with so much potential for growth.
Yeah.
Brands like Paper Boat that offer a healthier and like more flavorful alternative to those like sugary drinks, they're like well positioned to, capture a larger share of the market.
They've definitely struck a chord with consumers who are, looking for something different. Something that like connects them to their heritage and provides a healthier option.
Now let's talk about Mama Earth and their onion shampoo.
Okay.
It's a product that's become like synonymous with their brand,
Yeah.
but how has it impacted their like overall success?
So the onion shampoo was like a game changer for Mama Earth.
Okay.
It tapped into that growing consumer like anxiety about hair loss, right? And offered a natural, safe, and effective solution.
And their target audience is like very specific. They're speaking to millennials and new parents,
Yeah.
those who are maybe a little more conscious of like the ingredients in their personal care products and are looking for like gentler, more natural options.
Exactly. They're responding to a like real shift in consumer preferences. And by creating a hero product that, addressed a common concern with a natural solution,
Yeah.
they were able to like capture a significant segment of the market.
And this trend towards like natural and chemical-free personal care products is only going to like accelerate. Consumers are becoming more educated about the potential harmful effects of certain chemicals and are, seeking out those safer alternatives.
Mama Earth is definitely like well positioned to benefit from this, growing awareness. Their onion shampoo has put them on the map, and now they're expanding into like other personal care categories, building on that trust and recognition they've earned.
Now let's move on to Nat Habit and their hair NutriMask.
Okay.
This product seems to like embody their like holistic approach to hair health, how has it shaped their brand identity?
So Nat Habit is a brand that's built on education, right? They're not just selling a product.
Yeah.
They're like teaching consumers about the benefits of natural ingredients and a holistic approach to hair care.
And their hair NutriMask is like a perfect example of this, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's not just a quick fix. It's like a product that encourages you to think about the long-term health of your hair.
Exactly. And they're targeting those consumers who are like willing to invest in their hair health and are looking for like natural solutions that are backed by a brand they trust.
Yeah. And this approach is definitely in line with like, the growing demand for natural hair care products. As consumers become more aware of like the potential downsides of conventional hair care products.
Right.
They're, seeking out those natural alternatives.
And Nat Habit is capitalizing on this trend
Totally.
by offering products that are not only effective, but like also aligned with these evolving consumer preferences.
For sure.
All right, let's shift our focus to Little Joys, a brand that's tackling like a very specific niche, healthy snacks for kids.
Yeah.
How has their kids' chocolate Nutrimix contributed to their success?
So Little Joys has like cleverly combined two things that parents are always looking for: healthy ingredients and a taste that kids will actually enjoy.
It's like the holy grail of parenting.
Right?
Getting your kids to eat healthy food without a fight.
Yeah, exactly. And their kids' chocolate Nutrimix is like a perfect example of this. They've managed to make a product that's like nutritious and delicious, appealing to both parents and children.
And this focus on healthy snacks for kids is like right on trend.
Oh, yeah.
The market for healthy snacks is exploding as parents become like more and more concerned about their children's diets.
Little Joys is like well positioned to capitalize on this trend. They've managed to create a product that meets a real need in the market. And they're communicating their message effectively to their target audience.
Now, let's talk about Patanjali, a brand that's become like synonymous with Ayurveda. They've been like incredibly successful in bringing traditional Indian wellness practices to the mainstream.
Totally.
How have their hero products shaped this brand identity?
So Patanjali has built an empire on the foundations of Ayurveda. Their products are seen as like affordable, natural alternatives to conventional products.
Yeah.
And that's like resonated hugely with consumers who are looking for more like holistic approaches to their health.
And their target audience is like massive.
Oh, yeah.
They're appealing to anyone who's interested in like natural wellness and traditional remedies, which is a significant segment of the Indian population.
Right. They've really tapped into like a sense of national pride and heritage with their products, and that's been a key driver of their success.
And the Ayurvedic market is booming, right?
Absolutely.
It's not just like a niche interest anymore. It's like become a major part of the wellness landscape.
Patanjali has been like a major force in this growth. Their wide range of products, from toothpaste to skincare to food items, has made Ayurveda like accessible and affordable to a much wider audience.
Now let's talk about Himalaya Wellness, another brand that's built a strong reputation for their herbal healthcare products.
Right.
How have their hero products contributed to their success?
So Himalaya has a long and rich history in like herbal medicine. They've leveraged that expertise to create a range of popular products, from herbal supplements to skincare that are seen as both effective and trustworthy.
And they're targeting a similar audience to Patanjali's, right? Those consumers who are like looking for natural and holistic solutions to their health concerns.
Exactly. They're appealing to those who are, seeking out alternatives to conventional medicine and are looking for products that are, backed by a brand with a solid track record.
And the global herbal supplement market is massive and growing rapidly. Consumers are increasingly turning to like natural remedies for various health concerns.
Himalaya is like well positioned to capitalize on this trend. Their combination of, traditional knowledge and modern scientific research has allowed them to create products that meet the demands of a growing and, discerning consumer base.
Now, let's shift our focus to True Elements, a brand that's all about like clean eating and nutritious snacks.
Okay.
How have their hero products shaped their brand image?
So True Elements has built their brand on a foundation of like transparency and a commitment to clean label foods.
Yeah.
Their hero products, their, superfoods and healthy snacks are all free from like artificial additives and preservatives, which is exactly what their target audience is looking for.
And they've been very strategic about their communication.
Right.
They're not just saying they're clean. They're like providing detailed information
Exactly.
about their sourcing and production processes, allowing consumers to really see what goes into their products.
Right. That level of transparency is key in building trust with consumers who are becoming increasingly wary of, processed foods and
Yeah.
hidden ingredients.
And the healthy snacks market is booming. Consumers are snacking more than ever.
Oh, yeah, they are.
But they're also more conscious of their health.
Right. True Elements is perfectly positioned to capitalize on this trend. They're offering a delicious and, guilt-free alternative to those conventional snack brands that are loaded with, like, artificial ingredients and unhealthy fats.
Okay, so they're in the right place at the right time with the right products. Now let's talk about Urban Platter, a brand that's targeting a more specific niche with their like premium ingredients and specialty foods.
Right.
How have their hero products shaped their brand identity?
So Urban Platter has tapped into a growing trend of consumers who are like more adventurous with their cooking
Okay.
and are looking for like unique and high quality ingredients.
And their hero products are all about catering to those like specific dietary needs and preferences, right?
Yeah.
They've got like gluten-free options, vegan products,
Yeah.
all sorts of like specialty items that you might not find at your average grocery store.
Exactly. They're targeting those consumers who are willing to pay a premium for those, hard to find ingredients and specialty foods.
And their focus on like gourmet cooking and organic ingredients is like very much in line with, current market trends.
Oh, yeah. The organic food market is growing rapidly as consumers become more conscious of, the environmental and health impacts of their food choices.
So Urban Platter is appealing to both the like gourmand and the health conscious consumer.
Right. They've like carved out a unique niche for themselves. And their focus on quality and exclusivity is helping them stand out in, a crowded market.
So we've explored like a wide range of brands and their hero products,
Yeah.
highlighting the strategies they use to connect with consumers and really carve out a place for themselves in this like dynamic health and wellness market.
We've seen how these like standout products can shape a brand's identity, attract a loyal following, and drive their success in a competitive landscape.
But in the final part of our deep dive, we're going to step back and consider the like broader implications of this booming market. What does this mean for the future of health and wellness in India? And what should you as a consumer be aware of as you navigate this like evolving landscape?
Right.
Stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive to find out. Okay. So welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into India's health and wellness market.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey.
It really has. We explored those big brand strategies, talked about how you as a consumer actually make decisions.
Right.
And we even got into like those hero products.
Yeah, the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, the nitty gritty. But now let's like zoom out and look at the bigger picture. What does all this mean for the future of health and wellness in India? Like what's next?
Well, one thing that's really striking to me is this increasing demand for personalization.
Okay.
Consumers just aren't satisfied with those like one-size-fits-all solutions anymore. They want products and services that are like tailored to their unique needs and preferences.
That makes sense. We're seeing that in like so many industries these days. Everyone wants that like customized experience.
Exactly. And in the health and wellness space, this could mean personalized nutrition plans, workout routines that are like designed just for you, maybe even supplements formulated based on your individual DNA.
Whoa, okay, that's next level. It's like that scene from Minority Report where they predict what you want before you even know it.
Exactly.
Okay, so brands that can like offer this level of personalization are going to be the ones to watch.
For sure.
So what else is like on the horizon?
Another major trend is this shift towards preventive healthcare.
Okay.
People are like starting to realize that it's not just about, treating illnesses. It's about actively preventing them in the first place.
So it's about like making those healthy lifestyle choices. Eating right, exercising, getting regular checkups.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff.
Exactly. It's about like taking control of your health and well-being before something goes wrong.
Yeah.
And this trend is like creating huge opportunities for brands that can support that proactive approach.
Right. I guess that explains the rise of like all those fitness trackers,
Yeah.
healthy meal delivery services, even those apps that like help you manage stress and sleep better. It's like everyone's looking for that extra edge, that little nudge to stay on track.
Absolutely. And as this trend, gains momentum, we're likely to see even more innovative products and services emerging to help consumers, stay healthy and prevent future health issues.
Okay, so personalization, preventive healthcare, those are two big ones.
Yeah.
Anything else we should like be keeping an eye on?
Oh, definitely. We can't forget about like the rise of digital healthcare solutions.
Okay.
So everything from telemedicine to online pharmacies, technology is like totally changing the way we access healthcare services.
Yeah. Yeah, this is huge, especially in a country like India where access to quality healthcare can be a challenge.
Absolutely.
Particularly in like more rural areas.
For sure. Digital healthcare has the potential to like bridge that gap and make quality healthcare more accessible and affordable for like millions of people.
Yeah.
And as technology continues to evolve, we can expect to see even more innovative digital solutions emerging.
So it sounds like the future of health and wellness in India is going to be pretty exciting.
Oh, yeah.
But all these trends, all this innovation, it can be a bit overwhelming, right?
Yeah, it can.
For the average consumer. So like, what advice would you give to someone who's trying to navigate this like rapidly evolving landscape?
Well, first and foremost, be a discerning consumer.
Okay.
Don't just like blindly follow trends or get swayed by flashy marketing campaigns.
Right.
Do your research, understand your own needs and preferences, and make informed choices.
It's like we talked about before, be a conscious consumer. Think before you buy.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to like leverage the power of technology.
Okay.
Explore those digital healthcare solutions that are available.
Yeah.
They can offer you like convenient and often more affordable access to, quality healthcare services.
Right. Technology can be a powerful tool in like managing your health and wellness. Anything else to like keep in mind?
Don't be afraid to experiment and try new things.
Okay.
The health and wellness space is like constantly evolving.
Right.
There are always new products and services emerging.
It's like that saying, variety is the spice of life. Maybe that should be our new wellness motto.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's all about like prioritizing your health and well-being. Make choices that make you feel good, that support your individual goals, and that align with your values.
Great advice. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into India's really dynamic health and wellness market. I mean, we've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, we have. Everything from like brand strategies to consumer psychology to those like exciting trends that are shaping the future of this whole industry.
It's been fascinating to like unpack this world.
Yeah, it really has.
And explore how brands are, connecting with consumers in this like ever-evolving landscape.
And as always, we want to hear from you guys. Share your experiences, your favorite brands, the trends you're seeing, anything that stood out to you from our conversation.
Yeah, join the conversation.
Join the conversation on our social media channels. Until next time, stay healthy, stay curious, and keep exploring the world of wellness.